I feel like this episode should start out with like a nice little like beachy sort of like sound. Like, well, I guess waves crashing wouldn't really make sense. We need something like kind of like
very small waves crashing,
like a cabana sort of thing. You know, this oasis is really nice looking.
At the Sanubia Cabana.
I keep forgetting what the name of this place is. I'm just like, Oasis.
Oasis. And then there's desert around the oasis.
It's a Albed Supernova.
Someday you... Tell you what, somebody else deliver the intro today.
No.
Okay. This is the Every FNFF podcast.
Every FNFF Curtis, I'm trying to talk. God, no, you know what? You do it.
Corona Light presents the Every FNFF podcast.
Life's a beach. Grab one.
Face down in the water again.
Ass up. That's the way we like to do the podcast. This is the Every FNFF podcast. I'm Carl Jones. With me, as always, is
Alex. Me
and Curtis.
Hell yeah, we did it, guys.
We did it.
Today,
first try.
We're going on a little trek.
First try podcast intro, first try Zell card, always.
It's a frame perfect trick, but we nailed it, so that's good.
Yeah, so this week we're in the desert, baby. Doo-doo-doo. And I guess last time we already announced that we woke up in an oasis and Titus kind of did like a little goodbye for now to his dad, right?
Smell you later, Gramps.
Yeah, he's like, I forgive you for now.
Yeah, for now, old man. But we're all alone. It's just Titus and nobody else, right?
Ain't nobody.
Yeah, notably too, because there's a save sphere right here. So when you go to save, like your save file will just be Titus. So I'm like, oh shit, this is probably gonna suck.
Yeah.
Speaking of save files, did we ever talk about the overdrive modes? Because I've noticed that your character's portraits' faces will vary depending on their mode set.
Really?
Yeah, you mentioned that, and I had never realized it. But like looking at it, like I'm like, yeah, how did I not notice that?
Get out! How does it vary?
Like they have different, like kind of like sometimes they grimace, sometimes they're like neutral, sometimes they're kind of. But there's different. There's different faces depending on the modes.
Yeah, so like
your save file, right?
If you're in stoic mode, Titus looks like he's like vulnerable after a breakup. If you're in warrior mode, then Titus is looking a little confident in himself, like he's ready to take on the world.
I had no idea.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, I noticed in the save files, you start noticing like, wait a second, why is everyone kind of in a different mood if you go back? If I go through my
have
files?
We talked about modes yet?
I don't think we have.
I think we might have mentioned it a couple of times, like throughout the course of like the entire podcast and the entire playthrough of the game, which we are pretty deep into now. You unlock different modes of your overdrive, and basically that is just how you accumulate the meter for to perform your overdrive. So everyone starts out with stoic, which I think is just how does that even work? I think it's like when you get hit.
Stoic is if you take damage, it builds. So just like it's like FF7 rules.
Yeah.
And then there's multiple kinds depending on your actions throughout the course of the game. So at this point, you'll probably have if you're playing it casually, Titus, Waka, maybe Orin will have warrior.
Yeah.
And that'll increase your overdrive gauge as you do damage to enemies. But it no longer takes if you take damage. So you're changing the way it works, right? But you only unlock the different modes by doing certain actions. So, like, Yuna is probably not going to have Warrior at this point, right? She may have Comrade, like I have Lulu with Comrade, which is where instead of you getting attacked, if either of your other party members get attacked, then it increases the overdrive gauge.
Yeah, so you can obviously strategize with this, especially with like Auron having guard. Like if you want to have someone get an overdrive, but you don't want them to actually take damage, you can set them up on Comrade and like just have Auron use guard and
right. There's also modes for defeating enemies, for winning battles. There's several different ones, and the more like rare the condition is, like if it's winning a battle, it'll fill it up more, right? So I think it fills it like a third of the way up. It's pretty significant. So you're just like guaranteed like an overdrive every so often, but you can only get one per battle if that's the case, right? So if you're like on a boss and you use yours, there's no way to continue to amass it.
I see.
Yeah. So you pick what's good for you. I find that Warrior's really good, especially for Titus, Waka, Auron, because they're always doing attacks.
Yeah. So just more ways to strategize. It's pretty cool.
It is. It's very cool. I actually used it to good effect during this part of the game because we have like a couple battles with enemies who are pretty significant. Like they take a lot of attacks to take down, so you may get like 2 limit breaks, 2 overdrives a battle or something.
Yeah.
So speaking of battles, though, you can't go very far away from the Oasis without running into one.
Yeah, and I'm wondering. It almost felt like a scripted battle to me, but I'm wondering if you guys got the same enemy as I did, or
I think it's scripted, but it comes in as though it's a random battle. There's not like a cutscene or anything.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. There's a little bit more like fanfare, like the camera angle that happens after you get into the battle, which you're just expecting to be a battle. It's like there's this giant fucking like bird thing that just like descends down. Yeah, and it's nasty looking. It's mean looking.
But also dude, Titus does say "woo," just like he's like, "Oh, geez."
Yeah.
During my battle, he went. I don't think birds are supposed to get that big.
Yeah. So there's actually a lot of really good like little bits of dialogue in
oh my
this,
god,
depending
the battle
on, like,
dialogue in this section is so golden.
Yeah, like depending on like which party members you have and stuff. Like Titus says the thing like, "Oh, I didn't think that birds could get that big," and I think Riku and Lulu had some really good ones as well. I'll have to see if I can look it up. And
who are not here right now?
Right, of course. We can only assume they're dead, or we're in some new land because Titus is always getting sucked into far off places. That we're gonna meet our new party
another 1,000 years in the future.
Yeah, we're gonna meet new Riku.
Starts here.
New Lulu. New Wedge.
But yeah, the enemy is that giant fucking bird called a zoo. And I don't in the podcast we haven't seen a zoo before, have we?
No, I don't think so.
We've seen this type of enemy, but not of this variant. This is like the zombie version of like I forget the name of the thing we fought when we were at Lucas Stadium.
Well, zoos are in a lot of Final Fantasy games. Like, they're a reoccurring character who are in a bunch. I just think we've done 7 and 1. I don't know that zoos are in either of those.
I don't believe they are. I'm going to do a quick search, though.
But we will find them again. Like, we'll see zoos as we do the podcast in several games. And they usually are, like, it's just shorthand for giant fucking bird.
Yeah, it looks like they were, like... Oh, no, apparently... Oh, no. Okay, so they started in 4, and then they were in 5, looks like 9. So not in 7 and 8.
Okay.
So they might as well not exist, as far as I'm concerned. They are in Final Fantasy 7, but only as... Oh, wait, you know what? No, Zoo can be fought either in the Battle Square or on the bridge to Mount Nebel.
Okay.
So yeah, they're there. They look a little different in Final Fantasy 7, but...
Okay.
I was going to say that it was only in a Crisis Core game, so who cares?
Well, anyway, so they're pretty big, and they have a lot of HP, right? They like hit like a truck, a lot of HP. But I'm curious what y'all did, and I didn't again, I'm going to fucking flex my muscles here. I didn't look this up. I just happened to do this, and it worked out. So, what did everybody else's battle go like? That's what I want to know.
Mine went... pretty okay. I think Titus got hit and down into yellow, and I was like, oh shit, I better like heal or something. And then Auron ran in and was just like,
need some help?
You gonna cry?
He does a cool like save the day moment.
Yeah, exactly. And then the battle was kind of going so fast that I wasn't really like looking for the cues that happened with it. But shortly after that, there was just like Thundara hit. And Lulu just came running in and also joined the battle. And then I'm like, okay, this is no problem now.
Right. I think that's the way that the battle is supposed to go, but there are cues for Auron and Lulu to come into the battle and kind of like be like, haha, here we are, time to kick this bird's ass. I never got to see those.
Oh, really? Did you just take it down with only Titus?
So, the zoo is susceptible to slow, so you can slow it, and then I hasted Titus, and so like I have a screenshot that just shows every single one of the turns as Titus. And so, like, the zoo would go once, and then I would high potion, and then attack with Titus 9 or 10 times in a row. Just like, wow. And then it would attack again, and, like, miss. And it would be 10 more Titus turns, and I just pop. So I never saw Auron or Lulu. So I beat the zoo. And then after it was done, and, like, everybody's like, da-da-da-da-da, then Auron and Lulu come in, and they're like, oh, looks like we're late.
Oh, that's so fucking cool. I didn't even realize you could do that. That's so cool.
A lot of the enemies in this area can be slowed, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, one notably cannot, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, one notably cannot, which we'll get to.
God.
Yeah.
Alex, what happened to you when you were doing the zoo fight?
What did I do? I don't remember how it started, but I did manage to land a shooting star on it with Auron and just fling it off screen.
Hell yeah.
Just swing for the fences and hit a home run.
So we haven't. So okay. So we talked about shooting star, but now would be a good time. We'll just go ahead and say what Auron's shooting star is, and it's just like a home run swing for Auron, right? Like he just like gets. Yeah, he literally gets up in front of them and just swings his sword like over his shoulder, and like it just knocks the enemy off past the horizon, and it's fucking amazing. And like the larger the enemy, the better.
I think Sakaguchi actually said that he was inspired by the massively successful game Super Smash Brothers, where you get the home run bat and use it to one shot.
Yeah, as soon as you hit the zoo over the horizon, it just goes game.
That's going on the Instagram later.
But yeah, so that's a very helpful. That's a very helpful move in this part, because like these enemies aren't super tough. They're just like they're sponges. Like they have like
some of them can be,
you know, almost like 20,000 hit points, and you don't really do a whole lot of damage each turn. So
for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, after the battle's done, like Lulu and Auron are here now, and Titus is like, "Oh, the others," and Lulu tells us that like, "Oh no, we haven't found them yet, but we're supposed to stay together if we get separated," which I think is good advice, right?
Yeah.
Like you stay in one place and you wait for somebody. I think if you're out hiking,
splitting up is how all Scooby-Doo conflicts happen.
Yeah, exactly.
But Auron just walks on. He's just like not waiting. He doesn't even say anything. And like Titus is just like, well, he's not waiting. And so we like run after him. But yeah, from there on, we can actually get into random battles in the area. But at least we have a full party.
If you have a chance to.
If you even have a chance to, yeah.
I was saying like literally 3 steps is where Walk is waiting.
Yeah, Walk is right in front of us.
You get 3 steps and then you get another mandatory like cutscene kind of thing.
I love that. It looks like he's just being salty. Like,
yeah, he's looking real salty. He's like, I killed the high priest. I got kicked out of church. Fucking baby.
It's like, you know, you can just get those crackers at home.
But yeah, we find him. He's like sitting under like a little like makeshift tent made of like scrap metal.
Yeah, just some Machina shit.
It's looking like Machina to me.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. Like he's using it as a tent, but yeah, it seems like it's like broken down old Machina. So he's like especially not enjoying it. But yeah, Titus asks him. He's like, "Are you alone?" And he immediately just wants to know if Yuna's all right and where she is.
Yeah,
and
he like stands up and he's like, "Yeah," like he like doesn't say anything, but he like grunts kind of.
yeah, and nobody says anything, and he goes,
"Damn it! First I lose Yuna, then I'm ambushed by Machina. Great day I'm having."
Like I'm getting a little bit of Schadenfreude with Walker right now, where I'm like, eat shit.
Walker-Freud.
But he's right though. That's not good that Yuna's missing. That's true.
Definitely not. I think he kicks the Machina thing, right?
He does,
and then he like hurts his foot.
Yeah.
He does. He does this every time. This is rule of 3s, right? Because he kicked the cannon.
Well, he has 2 feet to kick it with, so he's broken both. So now he's done.
Is this what he meant when he said I get ambushed by Machina? Like he kicks it, breaks his foot, and he's like, "No, I'm getting ambushed by Machina."
It's self-defense.
It's that meme where somebody sticks like a fucking thing in their own bicycle spokes or whatever.
Yeah.
Where like it's Walker riding the bike and he jams in there and goes, "Oh, blasted Machina."
It's the Eric Andre meme, but it's just Waka shooting his foot, and he says, "Why would Machina do this? Why would the Albed do this?"
There's also like a treasure chest right outside here too.
It's an Albed treasure chest.
It literally says Albed first aid kit and like has a description for it. The description is a first aid kit placed by the Albed to aid desert travelers, and then we get 8 Albed potions.
Hell yeah.
Yum.
Which I think is pretty funny because like normal treasure chests would just be like, here's 8 Albed potions, but this one gets its own like story.
Yeah. This one's got the deep lore.
But the chest itself is literally Machina, it looks like, right?
It kind of just looks like it has a different color.
Is it different than the other ones? It has a blue top.
It might be. It's got like a blue like tarpy sort of thing. But yeah, I do see some gears
and rivets.
It do be riveted. Riveting.
It's a robot.
It's pretty ornate.
Robot box.
This chest is a droid.
Speaking of droids, did any of you guys talk to the Wii U paddle there?
I did talk to the Wii U paddle.
Anything interesting? Because I saw it and I was like, oh, it's probably going to tell me how to fight a zoo and like a spoiler for 5 minutes from now, a sandworm.
It didn't have any like new enemies or anything on there. I thought maybe it would show us something coming up, but it doesn't.
Okay.
Useless.
Yeah. Notably, the Albed potions that we have, if you go into the menu right now and try to use it, you can't.
Yeah,
you are not an Albed, so you cannot use it. If only we knew someone who could use Albed stuff. But we don't.
DRM is Machina.
If only we knew someone or had a sphere grid, a sphere learned that allowed us to use Albed things.
Yeah. But it does give a description which says it cures poison, silence, petrification, and gives 100 HP to all.
Oh, I'm so excited.
That's good juice.
Oh, 100? Not 100.
1,000 HP to all.
1,000 HP to all.
Yeah. It's real good. Did I say 100?
It's real. You did say 100, but it's all right.
Numbers are just astrology for eggheads, so it's fine.
Numbers are fake.
Numbers don't exist.
Yeah. But what I like is as soon as we move on to the next screen, like if we go to the right, we find Kimari, and I love that Kimari is just by himself trying to walk up a fucking sand dune, and he keeps sliding back down.
Real Sisyphus.
He's all slippy cat.
So good.
Real Sisyphus energy, real Kate Bush energy. I'm just hearing running up that hill in my head with this.
We have to imagine Kimari happy.
No, he was just burying his poop.
All the world is a litter box.
Yo, hell yeah, that would be pretty cool to be a cat there.
Like when Titus walks up to him too, he like doesn't even stop. Like Titus walks up to him, the scene starts, and he's still just trying to walk up the fucking sand dune again and slides back down, and then he just like doesn't look at Titus and just says,
"Yuna gone."
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
It is sad. Like I would hate to think what would happen to Kimari if we didn't find him.
I can't help but think this is what my cat does when I'm like not home and he's waiting to get fed, and he's just like waiting by the window.
Carl gone.
Like, Carl gone. Sarah gone.
All right. So at this point, I started getting into some random battles, right? Because there's like a little ways to walk around, and we can hit random battles from now on. And there's kind of like the standard fare, I guess, a flyer, a dog type thing that Titus can attack, whatnot.
Different colors. They have different elemental weaknesses now. They have a new name that I don't remember.
They're just different colored from what we saw at like Mushroom Rock Road. It's just like the same kind of triad of...
Did you notice what their elemental weakness was, by the way?
Fire. Doesn't really make sense.
Yeah.
Some of them had like blizzard. But yeah, a lot of fire weakness.
Some of them were like blizzard and fire. It was very interesting.
Yeah, which I guess I forget the name of the weapon that you have that has like ice touch and flame touch or whatever. Like the dual strike or something.
Yeah,
it's Bengay, the Bengay sword.
Icy hot.
The icy hot. Yeah. It's like Dark Souls. You rub the resin on your weapon. You like rub icy hot on a weapon.
That's what the sticky white stuff is in Demon Souls.
But you know what else is here? Fucking cactuars.
Hell yeah, a familiar old friend.
I haven't seen any cactuars.
Did you not see any?
Maybe it's because I didn't free any in Thunder Plains. I actually wonder if that's it.
I don't know. I mean, they are pretty rare.
I'm assuming you both did the thing at Thunder Plains where you had...
I did 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah, I did 3.
But I did none, so maybe that's why I didn't see any.
Could be.
I kind of want to look that up.
But what I was going to say is I had one of Lulu's Fury, like, ready to go, and I was like,
yo, hell yeah.
Oh, I'm going to fuck this clown.
I'm going to end this man's whole career.
I'm going to end this man's whole career. And, like, I learned that bio does not work the same in this game that it does in other Final Fantasies.
Sure doesn't.
So, first of all, it just poisons. It does not do damage, right? Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
So, is there a reason to use Fury with bio? Maybe, if you're, like, using it on a boss that has, like, a low susceptibility to it, but can be poisoned. But other than that, there's no reason to do that. But Cactuars are immune to it anyway. So I was like, eat shit, and spent, like, 8 bios at once, and I was just like, this game sucks. So that was a waste. God
damn, that sucks. I was trying to, like, in my head, have a quick response to that of the Cactuar going like something go burr, where it's like like Lulu crying and she's just like, no, you can't just be immune to bio when I'm using it as Fury.
Immunity go burr. Yeah, well, fuck them. But yeah, I guess next up's Riku. Yeah.
Although I do want to say, did you get attacked by a Cactuar, Curtis?
Oh my god.
Cactuars
have a new move.
And it's the same move, but a lot worse.
But 10 times. Yeah,
so the last time we ran into Cactuars, they were hitting us with 1,000 needles.
1,000 needles, yeah.
Which is just 1 HP for each needle, so it always does 1,000. Now it's 10,000, and the cap, like no matter what, you can only have quad 9. So
yeah,
it's just a one-shot hit, and it is a long animation.
It is a long animation, yeah. So Walker
like
got hit with it
2 times as long as the 1,000 needles one. Yeah. Like he just keeps going, and it sucks.
Yeah, it does quad 9 damage. Woof.
You wouldn't believe your needles.
You wouldn't believe your
10,000
needles. 10 million.
Cactuar
10,000 Cactuar needles.
Would you think me strange?
But apparently, if you come across Riku and you haven't got Kimahri first, she will like stamp her foot and be like,
Kimahri too.
Like she won't let you talk to her until you found Kimahri.
Oh, that's so good. I didn't know that. Oh, another thing to mention that I think I just saw in like a guide to make sure I didn't miss anything. When you find Waka, apparently, if you missed any of the Albed primers up to this point, they'll be at his like tent area. I don't know how true that is though, because I'm pretty sure I missed the one at Mushroom Rock Road.
Maybe it
just wasn't there.
Certain ones or something.
It's either certain ones or it's or it only works in like a different version of the game, because the guide that I was following also had a different name for one of the items that we're going to get here. So,
oh, interesting.
So okay. I don't know. Maybe that's true. Sort your shit out, jegged.com.
Presupposing that you do have Kimahri already, when you run to Rika, when you run to Riku,
Some F said Rika.
She'll say, "Where's Uni?" And Titus just says, "Gone."
I like how she calls Yuna Uni like she's like a British person talking about college.
Lulu says,
"Gone. Some guardian I am."
And then Riku starts to tell us, she's like, "Hey, I want to tell you something, but you have to promise not to say anything." And the best shot in all of FF10 happens right here. The game is, as far as I'm concerned, the game has been leading up to this moment when Riku says,
"Oh my god, yes.
There's something I want to tell you. Promise not to say anything." Yeah. And then everybody. Do you have it on your Switch, Carl?
I do, yeah.
Oh, everybody, everybody put up, and then like I'll hit print screen and like save a screenshot of it and put that one on Instagram later. But anyway, yeah, the best fucking shot of Waka like sus face.
The meanest of mugs. And it like zooms in comically. Like it has a couple like quick cuts closer to his face.
Yeah, it like bounces closer to his face, the camera does, and he has like the funniest fucking look on his face. But he's just like, I don't like this at all.
I like his face right before it too. He's like just standing there all nice and happy and like smiling, and then it's just like
this is low poly model is always like the same face, and then it zooms on a super high fidelity face.
Yeah.
And as he does, Riku says, "No glaring."
But he also does a grunt too, like.
Yeah. He goes,
I saved the PS2 version in the Discord, which is like, I kind of want to make a meme that like compares like this version, like when they added that scene with added a scene with Jabba the Hutt in Star Wars. Like they had the ugly CG and the remastered CG.
Yeah, I actually like that face is very different on the old one. That's interesting.
The texture is a lot different. They're a lot more earthy.
Yeah. But Riku tells us she knows where we are, right?
Hell yeah.
And we are on Bikanel Island, and it's the place the Albed call home.
Yeah.
Literally, because of the place that they live, they just call it home.
Yeah.
It's like if somebody asked for my address, and I would just say, all right, write this down. My house.
Yeah.
In the middle of the street.
You can't miss it.
In the middle of the street.
Yeah, also, as she's saying that, we have like the little map, the world map over top of her that shows our travel, like what are we calling it? Like the Indiana Jones style, like travel thing that shows where we are. And we are really fucking far away from Macalania.
Dude, Sin
temple.
took us like a total distance that's like the same as the pilgrimage we've like taken up to this point.
Yeah, pretty much.
Out of the way.
We've pretty much gone as far west as we possibly could from where we were, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Assuming Besaid is in the south, yes.
Yeah, relative.
God damn, yeah. This is super far away. And we're just on like an island that I guess is just a giant fucking desert.
Yeah. And like it's like like you were saying earlier, you know, like every time we get on Sin, there's like this we go to like 1,000 years in the future, or we see some trippy shit. So we like don't know how long it's been since we were we're at Macalania. Has it been 1,000 years? Has everybody been transported through time, or maybe it's just like a second, right?
Has it stacked like a cactuar and now it is 10,000 years?
Ooh, it is exponential years.
No one has a watch in this. That's Machina.
Riku might. She has to combine 2 items to get it, though. She has to combine like a fucking Lux sphere and a grenade.
That's how I get my watch. That's how I tell time. Yeah, but it also shows Bikanel and like the path that we have to take to get to home, which isn't too far in the grand scheme of things. It's just we got to cross this desert, it looks like. And yeah, Riku says Yuni's there, like as in home, and that the other Albed must have come and rescued her. And then Waka is immediately skeptical, and he says,
"Rescued? You mean kidnapped?"
And then Titus is like, "What does it matter as long as she's safe?"
Yeah. And Riku says, "That's right. Anyway, I'll take you there if you promise that you won't tell anybody about it, especially not the Yevonites."
So we finally have an actual term for the Yevonites.
Oh,
I don't think that's been mentioned yet. I think we may have said that once or twice, or Yevangelicals or whatever.
Yevangelicals, yeah. But yeah, like on the Yevonites.
Evangelical cats.
What is that one? Real quick, what does that remind me of? Oh, Rex Banner, where Homer's like, he becomes the beer baron or whatever, and he's like, "Don't tell anybody." Like that's like the whole plot is there's the beer baron or Rex Banner is trying to find him, and he's like, "Don't tell anybody about me being the beer baron, not your mother, not Rex Banner." It's like obviously like the one person, and so she's like, "Don't tell anybody about it, especially not clearly the Yevonites." It's like, yeah, I'd figure.
Well, it's just not a very happy birthday for Rex Banner.
Yeah, well, what's the matter, Chief? You haven't touched your banana kaboom.
That episode has one of my favorite Simpson gags in it that I'm always thinking about, where Homer gets caught as the beer baron by Marge, and he's just got like all the beer that he's smuggling in bowling balls in like a giant wheelbarrow that he's like rolling it.
I just muted my mic because the other guys are talking about Simpsons.
And Marge is just standing there like as he's trying to leave, and she goes, "Homer, are you the beer baron?" And he goes,
"I'm just gonna wait for them to stop."
I'm not gonna lie to you, Marge. And he just leaves.
And then he just leaves. He goes, I'm not gonna lie to you, and then he just leaves.
Are they done?
Instead of saying anything. But yeah, she says,
you know they don't like us, I'll bet. Who knows what they'll do if they knew?
And Waka's like, give me a break. What are you accusing Yevon of this time? And it's like, Waka, shut up.
Yeah, and then Riku says, Yevon did something really bad to us before. And then Waka's like, well, you all bad must have deserved it. And they're like getting into it and stuff, and it's like really uncomfortable. And then Titus is like,
can't you guys talk about this later?
Yeah, I know.
Which, like, that's a really fucking weird thing because, like, the entire time he's been in this, like, world, he's heard about, like, the Albed and, like, Waka hates them, but he doesn't give any specific reasons other than, like, oh, they use Machina and all this and stuff. And, like, I almost called her Yuna, but it's Riku. Riku has, like, information here that would, like, probably change a lot of shit just surrounding all of this. She's like, dude, this, like, something fucked up happened. And then Titus is like, I mean, it makes sense for Titus, but he's like, let's talk about this later. It's like, no, I want to fucking know now. This is, like, important, like, cultural shit going on here.
Well, importantly, in Final Fantasy, you can't talk and walk. Nobody has conversations with each other while they're traveling from place to place.
Yeah. It is the opposite of the West Wing. There's no walk and talks.
That tracks because of like how Riku was trying to get everyone to go stop at the Thunder Plains travel agency. They all had to stop what they're doing to think about talking.
Yeah.
we can't have any dialogue. We can't have any oh my god, what's the word I want here?
Conversation.
Because of the knee.
Eucharist.
That's the one. Anyway.
He was probably thinking of exposition.
But she says, just promise you won't tell anybody about this island. Promise. And, like, everybody kind of, like, looks at Waka, and he puts his, like, hands behind his head. And Titus goes, Waka, come on. And he goes, all right, I promise. And, like, she takes him at his word immediately, and is like, you got it. And, like, we're off to home, I guess.
Yeah, and then...
Take me home. I don't have a rhyme. Sorry.
Yeah.
Bikanel. Oasis. I don't know.
Yeah, but like along the way, there's
West
a couple
Virginia.
more like
Sandragora. Eat me whole.
I like
Bikanel.
Bikanel. There's a couple more like treasure chests with some ethers and Albed potions.
Yeah, more of those first aid kit things.
So we have Riku now. So using her use skill, we can use those Albed potions.
Yeah, and
it took me a while to figure that out.
Yeah, I mean,
thanks, Mr. Swan's. Like, I was streaming my homework and he had to kind of hold my hand.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because obviously we don't have Yuna here, so we're down a white mage. Like, we're down a healer, and this essentially just makes. I keep wanting to call her Yuffie, and it's throwing me off.
Honorary Yuffie.
Yeah, like it just makes Riku our healer for this, especially with like.
Yeah, it really does.
I was getting kind of nervous when I kept getting these Albed potions. I'm like, oh shit, there's gonna be something huge happening here, like that I'm gonna need. Like, why would I ever need 16 potions that fully cure my entire party?
Yeah.
Or like do like 1,000.
They're DRM locked.
Yeah. But it makes total sense now. It's like, oh yeah, you're down a healer, and this is gonna be pretty difficult without it. So.
Right. Then there's like a really weird like thing that begins here where like Riku is not in, like, you know, like all of like Titus is like the representation of the party as we run through areas, you know what I mean? Like we only see Titus on screen, but we know that all of our party members are there. Like Riku is separate from Titus now, and she like runs ahead of Titus as we run through this area.
Yeah, it's kind of like in I mean, this happens in Final Fantasy VIII. Your party members are always running behind you, which is really cool. Versus like in Final Fantasy VII, where like when they like jump in your pocket.
Yeah,
that kind of thing in Final Fantasy VII. So that's always how it's been in this game so far. It's just only Titus.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I think we mentioned it before that it's really funny when we talked to like Shalinda once when it was just Titus like alone for some reason in the Thunder Plains. It was like it wasn't the whole party talking to her.
Right. Well, I have to admit, like, in this case, I do like this. Like, I think it's kind of fun to have Riku running around. Because, like, as she runs around, when you talk to her, she's like, oh, it's this way. No, wait, actually, maybe it's this way. I think it's this way. And she, like, doesn't really quite know where she's going, but has, like, a general gist of it.
Yeah,
and, like,
she's never been to this neighborhood before, but she knows, like, the general area. So she's going down, like, side streets and, like, forgetting and stuff.
Yeah.
Just kind of winging.
She's like, I'm near MacDade Boulevard, so I know that like
there's new apartments getting built, and like you're all getting spun around. Like, she's all getting gentrified, and like I can't fucking the bodega I used to go to isn't here anymore.
Yeah, when I moved up here, they didn't have a Whole Foods, so I don't know like where this is now.
Curtis, you fool! Everything in Delco is near MacDade Boulevard.
But our first encounter, I think we get in with some Machina, right?
Yeah. After this point, the first encounter will be that. Yeah,
some robots.
Again, I think this is like another reskin of an enemy that we fought before at some point. I can't remember specifically.
Fought some on the docks, I think.
Luca,
the worker.
The worker.
Yeah, the worker. That's right. And we learned that like Riku can just one-hit KO Machina.
Yep.
She pulls like basically like the pin out that just kind of holds it. The load
I know.
A load-bearing grenade, basically.
I feel like if I liked Waka more, I would want to teach him steal so that he could then do this to Machina.
Oh, yeah.
Because that would
Waka.
be perfect. But no, fuck Waka.
Yeah. But yeah, so like Riku can use steal on Machina, and she still steals an item too, but it'll just one-hit KO any Machina, which is fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool. And she also says, I can take them apart piece by piece, because there's another little like tutorial thing. Even if she's not in your party, she'll just like run up and be in the...
Like, let me handle the Machina, yeah.
Yeah, so this is another way that like, as we go through the game and we find like all these Machina, a lot of them have Albed potions to steal. So I find that like when I'm playing this game, I end up having 99 Albed potions all the time, because you can just steal them all over the place.
Wait, where do you steal Albed potions from?
And maybe not in Bikanel, but like we'll continue to see Machina as combatants from this point on through the rest of the game.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, I vaguely remember you saying that potions would no longer become an issue.
And this is exactly why.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah, because what you steal from these mech guards is grenades, which is really good because that's a good item to have here.
Or high potions apparently is another common drop, I think. Sorry, common steal. It's either 2 grenades or 3 grenades. Sorry, I was looking.
I love stealing grenades because when cactuars pop up, grenades 100% of the time hit one.
Yeah.
Also, I noticed that like
honestly, any item that you use with Riku should hit a cactuar 100% of the time.
Right. Yeah.
So I was using, I tried using grenades because I know we talked about that the last time we ran into cactuars is like the strat. Like if you have multiple ones, you should do that one because it hits all enemies.
Yeah.
But in this, I've only found them 1 deep.
Yeah, same.
So I just use Arctic Wind, which would one-shot them.
Oh,
I forget,
no shit.
Yeah. So
I
also tried using Antarctic Wind, thinking that was like a Fire-Aga kind of thing, and it would be more powerful. But it's Antarctica is less somehow. So
it's an Arctic for ants.
I do like that. One time I got into a battle with some cactuars, and I switched Titus in. And when I switched him in, he goes, "Oh, don't even think about running away." I was like,
"Oh, yeah, that's another good one that he says."
Yeah. Waka, if you switch him in when you fight with Machina, he'll go, what is it? He goes, "Oh, you Machina." Like that or whatever. It's like really funny. Yeah, so like the next area that we get to is like a really big area, right? Like the next like screen transition is like a large part.
Yeah, we go over a hill and take a left, and then we're kind of in this open field, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so we're kind of like making our way through the thing. I found it kind of funny that Riku's like, "Oh, which way am I going? Like, where is it again?" And like, I'm like, dude, just look at the mini map. It couldn't be more obvious. It's like,
yeah, she has 99 maps. What's the problem?
Yeah, what's going on here? But like, you kind of just follow along the mini map. There's like save points and stuff, and eventually you'll get to a point where like you'll talk to Riku and she'll say, which way was it again?" And like, and then she's like, "Oh, over there, this way." Like, she's always kind of like not really sure where she's going, and frankly, I'm not really sure where we're going either. Why don't we post up for a minute and
we should
and regroup and then
get our bearings,
figure out what we're gonna do next.
That sounds good. Let's go to break.
Sounds good.
All right, I'm tentatively going to try to do the rest of the desert without my pictures because I remember pretty much everything that happened, I think.
Yeah, I feel like there's not too...
Is this desert my dog? Because it's got a worm.
Is
I got worms.
Okay, so importantly,
That's what we're going to call it.
There are two different directions that we can take from this point, right? There's a western desert and an eastern desert portion, and the encounters that you find actually change depending on which way you go.
Yes.
So
we're like by a save sphere here, right?
Yes.
Curtis was making a silly face to try and make me laugh, and then it took him a second to answer. But there's like a sign that has Al Bhed written on it, and I think anytime you walk past it, it like forces you to actually read this because it kind of just looks like an asset that you wouldn't necessarily try and interact with. But if you read it, even if you don't have all the Al Bhed primers, it's pretty obvious to see what it says. Just process of elimination, and it's like Wheel of Fortune.
Sure.
But it says, beware of fiend. Weaker fiend to the right, stronger fiend to the left.
Let's go left.
Hell yeah.
I
think I did go left. I went right at first, but I got blocked off by like a sandstorm. So I was like, oh, okay. I guess I'll go left.
Okay,
hell yeah.
So going to the left.
True lefties.
It leads you to a like a downward slope, right? Like the left area, the western area of the desert is kind of like at a lower altitude, right?
Yeah.
It's like in a little like dune valley. And much like Dune, there are big fucking worms here.
They're called makers.
Are they?
Is that what they call them in Dune?
That's what the Fremen call them, yes.
Okay.
The Fremen, also known as like the Al Bhed of Dune, call them the makers.
That's right.
But they're just called sandworms in this, right?
They're just called worms.
Oh, are they sandworms?
Sandworms.
Are they sandworms?
Sandworm, yep.
Well, I got worm. There's two.
I got worms.
I got
call the story.
Alex got worms. Man, I'm also kind of thinking about leaving and going to get McDonald's first before I do a run tonight. Anyway,
that's one way to get worms. Ho, ho, ho.
Oh wait, I could Grubhub it.
Yo, I have a McDonald's cheeseburger in my freezer.
You know what's
now.
also called grubs? Baby worms.
There we go. It all came together. Hey, you know what? On the podcast right now, I'm going to Grubhub McDonald's.
Curtis,
anyway, yes.
This is a very time-sensitive thing. And it's also going to date the podcast a little bit, probably. But right now, on the menu at McDonald's is the McRib.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's okay. I got one because I'm like, yeah, I'll try it. I mean, I've had it before.
It's in season. You gotta get one, like a Shamrock Shake or whatever.
Yeah. Do you know why the McRib is such like a limited item, by the way?
No.
I think if McDonald's removed the McRib so they can suck their own dick.
Well, I was going to say the actual reason, which is way less funny, so let's move on. So yeah, do you guys want to talk about the sandworm encounter?
Oh, you're right, it was sandworm. I was looking at the, there's a category of enemies called worms, so we'll see other worms.
Oh.
But Waka says, where is the early bird when you need him?
Oh, I like that.
That's really funny. That's really good.
Yeah, so these boys are big. But
did he say McDonald's sucks his own dick?
These boys are big, yo. They're real big. They're real fucking sizable.
They're big.
The textures are like throbbing and bubbling. It's like, I don't like it.
No, they're
flexing and has these like lines that are kind of stretching and gurgling. It is unpleasant and drooly.
They're scary.
I like it less than Sin's texture. Like it's if I may bring back a word, it's more undulating than Sin.
Somewhere out there, someone's like, drink. Curtis said undulating.
And yeah, it is very drooly, though. You're right. It is just slobbering all over the place.
Yeah.
Like, where's it getting all this water out in the desert?
I think the reason that I find this more unsettling than Sin as well is because this is, like, more tangible, I feel like.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Like, I wouldn't really expect to see Sin anywhere unless I was, like, deep-sea diving, which I never would because the ocean is terrifying. But, like, this worm, like, it seems like something that you could maybe potentially encounter somewhere, and you're like, oh my god, this is so fucking gross.
It's pretty nasty, yeah. And, like, the way its mouth flays open, like, bleh.
Yeah.
It's very nasty. And what its mouth do, by the way.
I was going to say, yeah, what that mouth do. It has a move.
Yeah, so periodically throughout the battle, it might eat one of your party members, and like it creates like a Kirby-style suction and goes, and, like just sucks them in.
It's called swallow.
We should have like a GIF or like an image of it doing that and put the Kirby like sound on top of it.
Yeah.
Then it presses down and copies the power of whichever Smash fighter it.
A little Riku hat that has goggles on it.
Yeah. But yeah, it takes that party member out of the battle for a while. Although, interestingly enough, eventually it will regurgitate them back out, and it doesn't do damage.
Yeah, it just limits your party, which can be a strategical thing that sucks. Ha, no pun intended. But
I am to understand that Alex had a hilarious encounter with this move.
No, I just made up a scenario. I'm just curious about.
I'm sorry. I thought it actually happened.
Where you were saying, you posted a picture of Auron using Shooting Star, and I'm like,
which just FYI, everybody, Shooting Star on the Sandworm is the reason to play FF10. Like you can stop playing after this. Like if you're like, you know what, I played up to the podcast with them this far, that's fine. You can stop after this. But use Shooting Star on the Sandworm. It's the funniest shit in the world.
But I just like to imagine that if you do Shooting Star after it swallows but hasn't regurgitated yet, do you just lose that party member forever?
Yeah, because that was funny. I thought it happened to you. I thought he had eaten Lulu, and then you were like Shooting Star.
I will say this: it didn't happen on the first encounter that I had with a sandworm, but I got pretty good at fighting them throughout the course of this episode, and I did have an instance where Titus got swallowed, and then I was able to take down the sandworm while he was still swallowed, and the battle ended, and there was only Lulu and Riku still in the party, and Titus didn't get any experience for that. Actually, no, it was fucked up because it was Riku that was swallowed, and she did literally all of the work to kill this sandworm.
Oh no!
Because do you guys want to talk about strategies aside from Shooting Star?
I have a very specific one, but I'm curious what y'all did.
Yeah, I have a good one.
Okay, yeah. So the thing is, this enemy has a lot of HP, right?
45,000.
Yeah, and so one of the things about enemies that have lots of HP is that everybody's going to find kind of their own way to just get through that mass of HP, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I like these kind of battles, because we can all sit here and get a different method of doing it. Also, Alex is holding the cat Doom, and he's very cute.
Oh, Doom.
You hear purr?
Oh, I want to hear purr.
That's a good baby boy.
I think Doom was the one who was on the podcast before.
He was. He fell off some stuff, and Carl said, "Oh, poor baby."
Yeah.
He likes lurking down here.
Old lurky boy.
Oh yeah, you stay on my desk now? You're gonna just wreck shit? Okay, you're gonna step on everything. I'm gonna turn off my keyboard.
So anyway, what were y'all's strategies?
Alex, you better keep all of this in. That's gold.
Yeah, I know. I just see Doom's tail flipping around in front of Alex's face. This is primo podcasting. How do we record? It's too late.
Okay. Alex, do you want to tell us about your strategy?
So I had Riku in my... Okay, buddy. So I had Riku in my party and just immediately found out what I could steal.
Hell yeah.
And what you could steal is a thing called a shadow gem.
Hell yeah.
And did you?
I don't think I got one.
You didn't? Okay, so what this does...
Not to be confused with the Chaos Emerald.
So this thing was... It made this fight so much easier because what it does, if you use this item, it halves the enemy's HP.
Oh, whoa.
It does a gravity attack, basically. So it's just a gravity grenade. So in the context of this fight, it's not it doesn't just do whatever the fucking half of 45,000 is.
I think the first 3 times it did
it does quad
nines.
Yeah.
Wow. And then after that, I was like, okay, now I know how much HP has left because it was going down to 4,000 and it was going down 2,000. So I was just doing that every time Riku did and just wailing on basically. I'm not sure if you can blind this thing or not, but
you can.
You can, yes.
As a matter of fact, the sensor data for it is to blind it. That's their suggestion.
Yeah,
so I think I was just blinding it and just avoiding getting hit. Doom is back. Getting hit. Just so I can avoid getting hit and so I can keep throwing these shadow gems. Think up to a certain point because I forget how many times, but it stops dropping shadow gems after a few times.
Okay.
It has a pretty good steal rate. So what I would do is, oh, that's very cute. Those little claws. So what I would do is, oh
no, Doom! Don't eat the headphone cord.
Do it, Doom. It's the only way. Oh my god, is he making biscuits?
Both paws on Alex's face, scratching his beard.
He's making biscuits.
But like on Alex's beard though. Biscuit, it's so funny. Okay, I'm sorry.
No, that's oh my god, that's so
very cute. What did you do, Carl?
Pretty much the same thing, honestly.
Yeah, you are smart though for throwing that stuff. I didn't figure it out. What is that? What am I seeing here?
Titus about to get the suck from the worm.
Titus getting swallowed. Okay.
He's used to it by now.
So pretty much my strat was very similar to Alex's, where I would just use haste on Riku, and Riku's already extremely fast. Like she'll sometimes start a battle before Titus. So she would get like 3 or 4 turns in a row, and then I would just either use a chocobo feather on like Titus to just make sure that we keep having turns like over and over again. And I would just steal as much as I could. And I basically was just like, at first I was like, oh, this is a really good weapon. I should just like get a bunch of these for later on. And then I was like, wait, I can use these on the sandworm. So I had like 27 by the time I started like actually using this strategy. And like you get like, I think you steal like 2 or 3 each time, and you can do like 2 in a row, like pretty significant, like pretty consistently.
Okay, cool. I didn't know that.
So yeah, it's good. This is a good place to grind, especially like with, we didn't really mention it earlier, but if you beat Cactuars, you get a shit ton of AP. So
you get so much AP for beating a Cactuar. Give me just a second. It is a fire alarm. But while we're on the podcast, I'm going to prove it to y'all with visuals too. I am going to reorder some McDonald's. Yes, here we go.
Yeah. No fire alarm for Curtis.
Medium French fries.
God, now I want McDonald's tonight. Shit.
And I think I'm going to get a fish fillet.
Hell yeah, that's what Sarah usually gets. Another thing you can steal from the worm, which I think is a lot less likely, is the stamina spring.
Ooh. Yeah, I didn't get it. I don't think I stole from it. Or maybe I did just like once or twice and got something and was like, yeah, whatever. Because the way I did it, I went ahead and did the whole battle with it. But I had Auron out, and it is vulnerable to every one of Auron's break skills.
Oh, nice.
So, and like Auron's power break and everything still does the damage of a normal attack anyway. So I would just get into the battle and I would just go through it and be like, power break, armor break, mental break. And that way, like, it's not doing any damage. I'm doing a lot more damage to it. And magic is doing a lot more damage to it. And then I would just like haste everybody with Titus and just like pow, 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 knock him out. And like at that point, his physical attack that like sensor tells you like, oh, you should blind it so you don't get hit by physical. It only did like 400 damage. So like, and I always beat it before I got to Earthquake. So like, I should have done what you all were doing. That's a lot smarter, but like, it still wasn't too much of an issue.
Apparently, it's also very susceptible to being poisoned via bio.
Oh my god, wait, yeah, that's another... I completely forgot that I used that. I did
too.
I used bio with Jesus Christ, with Lulu. I can't fucking think today.
It's all right.
But yeah, every turn that it got hit with poison, it did 4,500 damage.
Yes.
Like it did, I guess it does like, what, 10%?
It does 10%, and this continues all the way up. Like, poison can do quad 9 damage.
Wow.
And
holy
like,
shit, yeah.
So... And okay, so we'll go ahead and talk about it now, kind of, I think, because I've alluded to it before in the past. Final Fantasy X bosses get hard as fuck. You gotta be like real on the ball to beat them. But most of them are susceptible to poison.
Yeah.
Like the vast majority of them are susceptible to poison. And if you can poison and just defend, sometimes like enemies will have like a fucking million HP or some crazy shit like that. So you'll have to defend for like 60 turns in a row or some shit, but you can just sit there and watch quad 9 damage happen every turn when they're poisoned, and eventually it'll take them down.
That sounds awesome.
It's fucking insane. It's cool as shit.
That's literally a strat that you use in Demon Souls against like an optional NPC / boss.
Yeah. You were telling me about that.
You just like poison him and just watch him die.
Yep, that's what you do. But yeah. Anyway, sandworms, cool as fuck.
Yeah, really fun.
And like you're saying, they do have good AP as well.
Yeah. So this is and another thing too, like this would seem like it might be like a boss of an area.
Almost, yeah.
But it's just a random encounter, so you can definitely just use this to grind up a couple of levels.
You can also find the zoos here again as well.
Yeah. And cactuars and all that, and then just the other random things that we've been talking about.
Yeah.
Also, here we get some more of those treasure chest battles and configurations and stuff that have like X potions or some other pretty good weapon or items in there.
Speaking of treasure chests, the actual treasure chests in this area are pretty good too. There's like a 10,000 gil chest and a level 2 key sphere.
Level 2 key sphere. Some elixirs and stuff.
There's also out here another like Albed rune thing that we can read, like in Kilika and in the ruins at the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
Did y'all see that?
I did see that. I couldn't read all of it, but it seems like it's just like the gibberish.
It's more gibberish letters, yeah. It says HASODIITROS.
Yeah, and I'm kind of just assuming that it's like some sort of passcode kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think it's a cipher, actually.
Or, however you want.
If you don't have the Albed primers up to this point, you can use this.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
So I think...
Hold on. No, not quite. Because it's not the same amount of letters on both sides. And because I actually do know what it is later.
Okay. So never mind.
But I know what you mean. Yes.
I misinterpreted.
Because at first I was like, oh, okay, maybe if there's like a certain amount of letters on top and letters on bottom, it'll make sense or something. But like, there are different amounts. It's such a motherfucker.
Doom.
But that'll become useful a little bit later. But yeah, so whether we go to the left or right, like if we go to the right, it's just pretty much nothing. It's just easier enemies, right? But there's not a lot to really talk about. Either way, you get to the same next screen, and a good portion of this screen in the northeastern section of it is just a sandstorm.
Yeah.
And there's Doom again. Hello, Doom.
Darude.
He's just fucking trampling my shit.
Darude going wild over here.
Yeah.
He's trampling your shit much like a sandworm.
He hasn't regurgitated it yet, thankfully. He is very stinky.
Actually, you know what?
Cat.
That's almost a segue, because there is an enemy in this area that will trample your shit.
Which
I
enemy?
thought so. Carl's like, no, it's not.
No. I just can't think of which enemy you're referring to.
We'll get to it. So anyway, but you can't. So there's a pathway going down into the sandstorm, but the game just displays text box that says the sandstorm blocks your path, right?
Yeah,
you can't go that way. So there's a little pathway that goes around to the left of it.
I think I know what enemy you're talking about now.
Okay.
And yes, that thing fucking sucks.
And there's a sign that you can read that says "Danger, strong fiend in vicinity," but it's in Albed.
Oh, I missed that.
Yes. And then below it says 20% off all travel agency goods.
Oh wait, no, I did see that. That's right.
But there's no travel agency out here. So I think that like all that like stuff, all that crap is just like from a leftover travel agency that got like buried by the sand. Which is funny because there was that like Wii U gamepad thing we always make fun of earlier, and I was like, I feel like we've only ever seen those at travel agencies. And like,
that makes sense.
Yeah, and the game's like, oh, there's a buried fucking or destroyed travel agency, and I was like,
ransacked.
There is a little bit of extra after you read like the 20% off travel agency or whatever, that says like this is worn away, like it must have not been used in a long time or something like that.
Right.
There's also I did some backtracking here just to like do some more exploration. There's a lot more of these like Albed signs all over the place that say different stuff like Oasis ahead and you know, just different like things like pointing out where you are kind of in the desert. But there's another one of those cactuar stones near where we were.
Yeah, in front of the sandstorm.
Yeah, and when you like try and interact with it, it says there's a valley beyond the sandstorm. There's a picture of a fiend on the stone here, and we can't do anything with it. I tried to do.
You can't use the sign of Square or whatever to do anything.
Yeah, exactly. I tried, but I wasn't able to.
Yeah.
So. I was like, yeah, give me more cactuars.
By the way, I got into a battle. This is just a picture that I have on my Switch. I got into a battle with some Machina here, 3 of them, and Waka had a limit break ready to go, and I was like, oh boy, I'm going to hit these dudes with a Thunder Blitzball, right?
Hell yeah.
And so I was able to line up Thunder on all 3 slots. And dude, it did over 6,000 damage to all 3 of them. And I was just like, God, Walker's awesome. Such a motherfucker.
Oh, there are 2 primers in this area that I think we probably already passed at this point. There's one that's just like a weird... it almost looks like a shadow on the ground. Like it's easy to overlook. There's just like a texture that looks like a small like circular shadow. And you get that, and it is the Albed Primer 28. Or no, not 28. Jesus Christ,
28. Yeah,
there's only 26 of them. Yeah, 18.
Okay.
The forbidden letters.
And
is it B equals P? Do not tell me it is B equals P.
It is B equals P. No, it is N equals R.
Okay.
And then you get Albed Heddeja, which I actually saw.
Heddeja, no thoughts.
I was thinking about it. I'm like, oh, this is definitely going to translate to something in Albed, and like I had been thinking that for a while, but I never looked it up. And then when I was like kind of just going through like the guide to make sure I wasn't missing anything, I saw that it had it all completely broken down, and it was just like Albed native, Albed speaker, Albed like. Yeah. They're all like if you translate that from Albed, it'll tell you like your proficiency.
Oh,
it's pretty cool.
I didn't know that.
Nice. Yeah.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
So
there's another one too that's kind of near the chest that has some good loot in it.
Yeah.
That one is X equals Q.
Okay.
Yeah.
So along the left side of the sandstorm here, there's a path, and there's a couple like, what the hell do you call these? Sinkholes? No, that's not right. Quicksand?
I guess kind of quicksand, but I think there's like an actual term for like a sinkhole kind of thing.
I think it's just a sinkhole.
Well, there's some sinkholes, and one of them is fine. You can just go down it and get like a mega elixir.
Yeah.
But the other 2 are not fine.
Some of them have chests that are like off to the side of it, and you're like, "Oh, cool, let me
They're
go
on the
get
edge."
it.
Yeah.
And then you go up to the chest, and it just comically slides down. And there's like a little plant in the center there, so you have to walk past this plant in order to get the chest.
Yeah, like a little succulent.
Yeah. It's a cute little succulent.
And as you walk past it, you get in a fucking fight with it, and it can be a motherfucker. I got very lucky both these times. Fighting it, but like you can game over here, and I have game overed before, just not this time.
Why can you game over?
All right, so this enemy, what is the name of this enemy?
Sandragora.
I forget, but it has confuse.
What is it?
Sandragora is like my name right now.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah,
Mine's a Digimon.
Sandragoramon.
It drains water, no big deal there, right? Takes more damage from fire, but its main attack is just a physical attack that does like a decent amount of damage for a character, but confuses them. And like, have we fought anything that confuses yet in the game?
I don't think so.
I don't
Maybe
think
like
so.
Briefly.
But its normal attack will confuse, and I think 100% of the time too. So it's a motherfucker, dude. And like, unlike other games, because like in other Final Fantasy games, right? Like something would happen, and I go, I know what to do. I'm going to use my weakest physical character and attack one of my other characters.
Yeah.
And then it'll bring them out.
With Lulu, that's a good strat because it's like, oh, I can just like set my Moogle off on them and they'll do 23 damage and then we're fine.
But the way that accuracy and evasion is calculated in this game is not like 1-to-1, right?
Yeah.
So like our characters have so much evasion by this point, not for against fighting normal enemies, but for ourselves, it is so hard to hit one of your own people. Like, especially with a non-physical attacker like Lulu. So, like, it just doesn't work. And so, like, the party just sits there mostly missing, but then every now and again, Orin's confused and just one-hit KOs one of the party members.
Oh, my God.
And you're like, this sucks ass.
So, when this happened to me, Titus got confused, and I was like, oh, shit, this could be bad, because I cast haste on him.
We also don't have Yuna right now.
Yeah.
Like, we can't Asuna.
Yeah, exactly. So I had Titus and he was confused and I was just like, oh my God, he's in haste. He's confused. And I tried to hit him with Lulu. No luck. Then he tried to hit himself and missed himself. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, okay, got to bring out the big guns on this one. Waka's got the best accuracy. He's always able to hit shit. bring him out. And Waka comes out and hucks his blitz ball at him, and it just misses. I'm like, dude, you're right next to him.
It's the
and he
worst.
kept missing. Like,
worst.
I was able to get away from that without a problem, but there is a really good strat that you can use here that makes these things completely like a non-issue.
Oh, really? Do tell.
If you steal from them, you steal 2 remedies.
Oh, okay, so you just...
So if someone gets confused, you just use remedy on it, and then like before they attack, and then you're like you don't have anything to worry about. And at this point, you probably have more than just like the remedies that you're stealing. So
sure. My strategy for it was that they have an elemental weakness, and they only have 12,000 HP, so you can just kind of cut them down. So like instead of even worrying about my confused characters, I was like, fuck them, just keep attacking, and like each time I was able to just plow through them that way.
Yeah.
One technique because I was having such a hard time with this, I game overed. But for Waka, I do have the Lucid Arm Guard, which has Confuse Ward on it.
I didn't have anything with it. I was looking and I couldn't find anything.
So I basically just had Waka be my support guy, and so he only really, I think maybe at least 3 out of 4 times would not get confused at any time he got hit by a seed. And I was just having him throw remedies and making sure everyone was good, and that just barely made it with that technique.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can be real motherfuckers. These guys, I've definitely game overed on them before.
Yeah, yeah. They're scary.
Because like all it takes is just the right combination of people getting confused, and then Orin fucking never missing when he hits your people and just one KOing them. So it could be a real motherfucker. But if we do the optional one there, we get the Venus Crest.
The Venus Crest, yes.
And we already have the Mars Crest.
It was known as the Mercury Crest in the other version.
Oh, was it? Okay, so it's like when we had Darmok on and we were talking about,
yeah, exactly. For Darmok, it was probably the Mercury Crest.
Okay, interesting. But yeah, so we get that. We're gaining a bunch of these sigils and crests.
Hell yeah.
As we go through the game. Don't know what they're for yet. But then we do have to fight one of these enemies to leave this area, right?
Yeah,
like that one's optional, but there is one that we have to get through to fight.
Yeah. Before we get there, though, I only encountered this at like the very end of the desert part here before this like encounter. But there's a new type of machina that we can fight.
Oh,
that is like
is the big shelled boy? Yeah,
yeah. It's like a quadrupedal kind of like. It looks like one of those shitty fucking robots that like you always see on Twitter that like they're like running around. They kind of look like dogs or whatever, and people are just like trying to knock them over and like kicking them and stuff.
Stop bullying them.
And everyone's like, stop bullying them. It's like, they're robots. Have you even fucking seen Terminator? They're going to kill us.
They're just opening our doors.
We need to learn how to knock them over. We must knock them down. We must knock them all down.
Yeah, only Garland can save us. I will knock them down.
For me, they remind me of those little wind-up toys with that just vibrate across your table.
Yeah.
They kind of have like the same sort of like posture as like a boss / enemy in Sekiro that are called like the centipedes or whatever.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But yeah, you can steal from them as well. They have 2,800. They're weak to lightning, but you can just steal from them. You also steal grenades from them, I think, and one-shot them.
Yeah. But yeah, so like as we go through that last little sand pool, we get to the top of a hill and a cutscene begins, right?
Oh no.
Yeah.
And like some intense music starts, I think, and then we see Riku go, "Ah!" Like she's screaming. That was a terrible "ah." Use the sound file for that one. Ah. But she runs off, and Titus is like, "Oh, Riku!" And we get a cool little cutscene here, like an FMV, right?
Yeah.
And it's basically like the camera like tilts downward onto home, like the base or the city or whatever you want to call it, where the Al Bhed live, and it's pretty wild looking for real.
It does look very like, oh, we're in FF7 now.
Yeah, it kind of has a Midgar feel.
Yeah, kind of Midgar. I was kind of thinking like an FF8 scene. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like if you took all of the plates from Midgar and then stood them up on their ends, with the base of it being the outside of the plate, right? Like that's what home looks like.
Just much smaller.
Yeah.
It does look more like a castle, if anything, like a metal machine, like mechanical castle.
It also looks like it's got a fucking crane or something on top.
Yeah, probably.
Like there's a very, very large pulley for some reason.
Yeah.
Oil rig, I think, is actually kind of what it reminded me of.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Kind of, yeah. But shit is going down. It's like on fire as fuck. And
yeah,
like,
one of those like giant pillars that we were kind of like saying is like kind of the like the plates, like where the plates would sit on, is just fucking
over.
down. Yeah, it's just knocked down, on fire. There's a bunch of those, I guess, zoos flying around, and there's like you can see like the Albed are like fighting these like fiends and shit.
It is machine gun fire. You can see bullets going around.
Man, too bad Seymour's dead. He would have like wasted all these fucking fiends.
Oh yeah, he would have brought Anima and it'd be all right.
Yeah, exactly.
Waka says,
"What? Yuna's down there?"
And then Lulu's like, "Of all the places, let's go." And we run off toward home, right? Now, I guess we want to do the first scene here as well.
Let's do the first scene because there's a save sphere right there before we go in.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we walk in and like we get some cool scenes of like Albed fighting fiends and like shooting them and stuff like that. Like it's
this
pretty
is
cool.
Like the first like I kind of felt like a tonal shock because up to this point we've only seen like sports cities and like very fantasy-esque like very Game of Thrones-y type of action, but this is like there's just straight up like gunfire and like a war scene happening.
Yeah.
Also, when the Albed are shooting the fiends, there's like blood textures and stuff. I was like, ooh.
And the fiends are really scary looking. Like, I don't think this is an enemy that we've fought before, but it's like...
We did. We fought them on the Mian High Road. It's what we got fire breath from.
Oh, okay. Yeah, these things are... Yeah, they're so fucking scary. But
very menacing.
Yeah, and like you said, like a tonal shift, because it's not like Operation Mihan where it's just like, oh, everyone's dead because they just got evaporated. It's like, no, you actually see people like getting torn up by fiends and shit.
We actually see somebody get straight murked, like right here too, right? Like, somebody like straight up dies. I guess they get shot. Waka screams, "Where's Yuna?" Like somebody around would know, I guess. Yeah. But this guy gets shot, and Riku runs up to him and says,
"Kayaku!"
And I guess that's the guy's name who just got shot. It's Kayaku. And I
think he might have been on the ship in the first scene that we saw the Albed.
Oh, he does look like
he's got like the goggles.
It's Spider-1.
Yeah.
Is that what Alex said he looks like or whatever?
What?
Didn't you say he looks like the guy from Power Man 5000? Maybe I didn't do that. But anyway, Riku kneels down beside him and says, Who's attacking us? And then in Albed, she says, "Who did this to you?"
Yeah.
And Kayaku says, "Yevon, Guado." And I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, shit's getting real.
And he straight up dies. And she's like, "Oh my god, Kayaku." No. Lulu, for us, the player, spells it out and is like, a war between Yevon and the Albed.
Yeah, and then someone in Albed says something that we can basically make out all of, which is that is wrong, I think is what he says.
That is wrong. He says, "That is wrong. Guado, go for the summoner." And Riku stands up and turns around and says, "Father." And I'm like, oh, this is Riku's dad.
Hell yeah.
And like we can't see his face. We see his back and he's like walking toward Riku. And like he kneels down to Kayaku and like does that thing where you close somebody's eyes when they're dead, you know?
Yeah. We might be able to put together some context clues from earlier in the game to know who this is too.
Yeah.
Because it's Riku's dad's uncle.
Well, she says father. She literally calls him father.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's Yuna's uncle.
Yeah, Yuna's uncle. Yes.
Whose name we got before.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. Yes. But he like picks up Kayaku's body for a moment, and I don't know if he's like trying to listen for a breath or something, or if
I think he tries to catch a pulse at one point. He like puts his hand up to like a pressure point, and then he kind of picks him up and is like either cradling him or
right.
You know, I think he knows that he's dead, so he's just like
he lays him back down. Yeah. But I like that when he stands up, he talks, and he has like the thickest accent. Like he has a draw, and it's incredible.
Yeah.
You Riku's friends? Well, just don't stand there. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, he has a southern accent, not like a Russian accent?
I think it's like southern, isn't it?
I totally forgot, but I think it would be funny though if it was southern accent, but he's Albed.
I think it is. It's like a southern accent, yeah. Huh. But he's like, "Y'all Riku's friends? Don't just stand there. Come on." Come on. He says,
let's go kick those Guado out of our home.
Yep. And Titus is like to Riku, he's getting ready to ask who that is, and she says, "Sid, the leader of the Albed. He's my dad."
Yeah.
And Titus is just like, "All right, let's go." And she says, "Yeah, we have to save Uni." And I like that Titus says, "Not only Yuna, right?" And like Riku's like, "Oh, Right, which is like very sweet of Titus, because he's like, hey, we're not just saving Yuna, we're also saving your home at this point.
Yeah, which is, it kind of just goes to show how, like, Riku, even though she's young, she, like, knows how the world is. And, like, in any other situation, if it was, like, anyone else, they would be like, oh, no, we have to save our friend. We don't give a fuck about the Al Bhed. Like, whatever, you guys can all get killed. It doesn't matter. But, like, so she was just like, oh, yeah, we need to go and save Yuna. And Titus is like, no, this is, like, bigger than just that, which is really cool.
I know. I feel like it does show, like, some development for Titus at this point, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like at this point of the game, Titus has become full main character now. Like, I'm on board with Titus. Like, he's cool.
Friendship with Waka has
Alex
ended.
has Doom in his hands again.
So there is one kind of fucked up thing that we can do.
Yeah.
Which might knock Titus down a couple of pegs again.
Oh.
You can go up to Keiku's body and inspect it, and you just get 2 high potions.
I didn't even notice that.
You just fucking, like, grave rob him.
You just grave rob her friend.
You could have used those.
And, like, yeah, like, you can go around to other, like, there's a lot of other dead Al Bhed on here, and I think it's, like, more built into the background because their models look a lot different.
Yeah, it's all right.
Albert dead. Their models look a lot different. It looks more like a, like part of the environment. And they have the fireflies kind of floating around them.
Okay. Oh shit! They have the fireflies floating around.
Yep.
Oh my god! They might become fiends.
Yeah, they got to get sent. But over
McDonald's
to the left, there is another Al Bhed primer, and this is Al Bhed primer volume 19. And it's C equals S, which I think is kind of funny because Sid's name is spelled with a C, and it can also be spelled with an S.
With an S, yeah. Either way, it's pronounced Sid. I like it.
Yeah. And there's also a save sphere, and I think that's where we're going to call it today.
Yes. So next episode, we're going to do Home, right? And there's a lot that happens in Home. Like, it's not a very long portion of the game, but it's another one of those, like, very story-heavy bits. So it's
very dense so far from what I've dabbled in.
Yeah. Also, I feel like we have not plot twists, but we haven't had any big like Final Fantasy is all about plot twists, right? Like that's like the thing is like the big revelations, and I feel like we're gonna get our first big revelation.
No, we already got our first big revelation. Is that Seymour's bad actually?
Oh yeah, you're right. I didn't think so.
No one saw that coming.
See, turns out Seymour bad. Turns out Seymour butts.
Based on a federal study, we've been able to determine that Seymour is actually bad.
It's like egg cholesterol or whatever. Okay, so here's what I think. We'll probably end the episode by saving on the thing that is after when we're in Home. So we're going to go to Home, and the second that we're not on Home, we'll save there.
Okay.
I just can't say it out loud. But that's where we'll save.
Sounds good.
Once we're done with Home.
Like, it'll still be home-ish. It just won't exactly be.
I'm trying to think of lyrics to a Simon and Garfunkel song that's talking about home, but my brain is fried, so I can't.
Once one of the words for temperature pops up, we'll save. You'll know what I mean. We'll get there. It's fine.
Hot.
I tell you what, now, as we're doing our outros...
Hot-blooded.
I'm gonna take 30 seconds to make sure that my McDonald's is not on the porch being eaten by the cats that live there. So start doing the whatever else or like announcements, and I'll be right back.
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna wait.
Mission accomplished.
The Guado stole his McDonald's.
See you next week, everybody.
No, I waited for you.
Oh, okay. Do we have any announcements or anything?
Really, really long-a-thon is still happening, as Swanzig plugged last time.
Is it going to still be happening when...
Oh, yeah, when does this air?
It's still going on. Today is the last day, if it's the 18th.
Oh, wait, no, it says till the 21st.
Oh. Still going on.
Yeah, if you're listening to this when we upload this, we still got the whole weekend to watch Really, Really Long-a-thon. I forget what's coming up this weekend on that.
Ooh, there will be a Final Fantasy 13 2 run on December 20th. Ooh, and a Final Fantasy X Max Celestial Weapons % on December 19th. Holy shit. That starts at 8:50 in the morning.
It's like all day, right?
Is that EST?
It's probably whatever local time zone you have.
Oh, yeah, maybe so.
So probably EST.
Which means that I will be able to get to work, get a quick breakfast or something, and literally just have it on in the background all day.
Oh, that sounds so cozy.
It's going to be nice. It's going to be nice.
That sounds cool.
But yeah, really, really long-a-thon. Absolutely killer. I was going to say a congratulations to Serena Flux. She ran Final Fantasy 13. Did platinum %. It was a 19-hour run. She did it in like 17:30 or something like that. But like 19 hours, and I saw the whole thing.
That rules.
That's insane.
It was wild. It was absolutely wild to watch. Because like I was like, oh, she's gonna finish it right when I get home too. It's like as I go home, like traveling there, it's gonna be over, and I'm gonna miss the ending. And I was so fucking pissed. But I walked in the door. I told my roommate and a friend that she had over, and I was like, I have to leave right now. I'm so sorry. I have to go watch. I have to go watch a really, really long-a-thon. And I got on, and I saw the last hit on the last boss as they got platinum.
That's so good.
Yeah, and I was like, yes. But fantastic job. By the time you hear this, there's an FF10 race going on that will have happened last Saturday from the time that you hear this. So my current time me's good luck to the 3 runners. That's going to be awesome. Yeah, and then catch that 13-2 run and that 10 run after you hear this, if you're listening to it the day it comes out.
Hell yeah.
Speed running.
And if you're listening to it after the 21st, then I don't know, I guess
catch the VOD. Yeah.
There's a certain irony to be listening and playing along with a game super slowly with a podcast. And then we just only promote people who play it really fast.
As a matter of fact, we should just put a call out there that like if you're running an event that a Final Fantasy is going to be sped run at, just have our podcast do commentating for a game. I would love to do that. Are you kidding me?
That would be really fun.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah.
Wait, that's all you got because you were the one who said it.
There's also GDQ is coming up. It's going to be starting on January 3rd and running until whatever the Sunday is after January 3rd. I forget what that is. But anyway, on the 8th of January, I will be running Demon Tower from the game Night in the Woods.
Screaming Demon Tower.
Pretty early in the morning, I think. Might get pushed back a little bit just with, how the schedule of a week-long marathon goes. But,
yeah.
Very excited for that. It's going to be fun. Going to be raising money for Prevent Cancer, so it's going to be great.
I have written in my notes a donation comment, and I think I think it's perfectly crafted. So we'll see if it gets read during the run.
Hell yeah! I'm gonna try my best to come up with like decent commentary for the run, as well as having enough time to try and fit in donations, because it's a quick run.
Yeah.
It's the estimate's 22 minutes. The world record for this game is under 10. Even if I get a couple of deaths, I could probably finish it in like anywhere from like 15 to 18 minutes. Hopefully. I mean, if I do end up in a death spiral on it, I will obviously just be able to be like, oh, more time for charity or whatever.
Yeah.
If it's one thing I'm good at, it's bullshitting and playing off something going really wrong and being like, oh, no, everything's fine. It's good.
Do you hear us, Scott Benson, creator of Night in the Woods? Make it so that Carl wins.
Yeah, I'm just going to blame Scott Benson, even though I don't think he developed this part of the game.
Well, sorry, I blame him for Final Fantasy things too, so.
Hell yeah. But yeah, that's it for me, I think.
If something goes wrong during the run, be like, no more. But yeah,
I'll just start blaming Miyazaki like everyone in the Speed Souls community does.
So are we good?
I think we're good.
All right, Alex, would you like to dangle a treasure chest out there on the side of your sand whirlpool, and when we approach it, you pull it in toward the center, ambush us, and then game over us by making us confused and attacking ourselves?
That's how we end every podcast.
That classic line we all know and love.
Just fucking punching ourselves in the face in confusion. Thanks to Night Around for the theme music, Nobuo Uematsu, Masashi Hamauzu, and Junya Nakano for the game music. Rate, review, subscribe. Call us at 530-MATERIA or find us at every FNFF on all the things. Join our Discord. It is a nice homey place if you want to create your own home, safe from the Guado.
Oh, I love that.
Yes, and as always, just promise you won't tell anyone about this podcast.
And now I'm going to open my McDonald's.
Good night. Are we getting another picture?
I'm getting a video.
I heard him purring.
Oh my god, so cute.
He's a little stinky. My face smells like Doom's paws, which smell like poop, I think.